Target Trading Academy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Preston Vogl here with today's Micros Market Recap at Target Trading Academy. Let's get right into it. Today is Thursday, August 18th, just at the New York close. Let's get right into it. Micro oil is in rollover currently, meaning there is two active contracts, September's and October's, meaning there's split volume and participation. So we don't even bother putting up any of the HVAs, or even if we had the HVAs up, which we have them for, we don't recommend trading them, at least live, for the very least. Don't trade them live, just because of that split participation. Now let's get right into it then with gold. Gold currently closing down from yesterday's close. We opened inside, well up above there, above the close, had an initial buying and then selling with that news that came out shortly after the open, and then sideways traffic and a run to that close. There was a small rally. It was not successful as they got stuffed, and the rest of the day it just went down. You'll see several entries in Pat's win-loss break-even video that I'll be doing today for him as he is out of the office. But you can see there is a ton of support and resistance at those HVA levels that were drawn the night before the next day's trading endeavor. So yes, again, that is the night before the next day's trading endeavor. These levels are released to the students for them to get onto their charts to be able to trade that evening, the next morning, and during the pit session. Moving on to our equities, it was a choppy day, to say the least. I don't know what happened there. But just scrolling back, you can see we opened pretty much where we left off yesterday. And had trouble getting through this area, so much so you'll see in the video as well. There's a ton of entries here. That's once, twice, 3 times, 4 times that it got stuffed in that area alone. Buyers just could not win that rally, and they brought it all the way down, and boom, stuffed all the way back up there. So, the buyers rallied all the way down there, and then they finally get to this edge, get hit one more time, stall out, and then make it through. And you can just see the participation around that area. They finally make a breakout, and it's short-lived, and they come right back down into that main body where they were dancing around earlier. They do later make another high, but you'll see that they come back down again, and that's pretty much where we are. We are closing positive for the day in comparison to yesterday's close, but not by a huge margin. Getting into the micro NASDAQ, it's a very similar story. Opening up pretty much where we left off, and we had some support hit. They came down, that support eventually turned into resistance in this area here, and you can see there's a little drive up towards that area where we opened, and again, like in the ES, the sellers stuffed them and brought it back down, making some new lows, and then you'll just see they don't really like that area anyways, and they just drive it up and they forget about it entirely. But there was a huge rally up there in this edge, and it was a fight all day long. You'll see that as we get back down and then come back up to it, they just did not want to go any higher at this around 13,560 mark for the day, and it's just in that area they were fighting tooth and nail to not go any higher, as you see. And so we did not make any new highs after that for the remainder of the day in the NASDAQ, but it was a very contentious area, and sellers just kept fighting and pushing them back in that regard. Regardless of all that, we are closing net positive in the day in the NASDAQ, not by a huge margin. Again, this is very little increment or increase, I should say, in the equities. It was a pretty choppy sideways day for the most part, which doesn't mean you can't get any entries. It just means it's slow going, and you got to be careful. With that said, again, these levels are given out the night before to our students for the next day's trading endeavor. So if you are interested in finding out how you can get these levels onto your charts, or interested in learning how to trade futures, feel free to reach out to us. We are Target Trading Academy. You can find our Facebook page, or our page on Facebook, or go to our website at targettrading.co. Get in touch with a representative at either location. They'll gladly show you what we do in our rooms each and every day, and you'll be able to see for yourself why we are the #1 trading education company in the world. We look forward to seeing you there.